Hello, today is Thursday, April 1st, 2021, and we are going to be doing a little bit of game development, but we're going to be doing, I think that worked, okay. Yeah, first off, let me open this, and then let me turn on my actual camera, because, you know, it's being weird. Alright, there we go. Normally this stream starts a bit earlier, but we had to start a little bit late today just because the previous stream ran a bit longer and I had some stuff I had to do because today is April 1st and a lot of things need to be done today. You know, first day of the month, you have to do a bunch of things. Anyway, one of the things that came up yesterday was asynchronous stuff. So one of the things that I have not really messed with before is reactive programming. I really need to, because I understand I'm fairly good with the functional programming, but I've not checked out reactive stuff. And also I am very gray. Let's actually bring some color back into this. That's probably fine, and that's okay. Yeah, the color balance is a bit weird, but yeah, I can't do much about it. Can darken it a bit. There we go. It's a little bit better. Anyway, yeah, I've done a bit of, not done much reactive programming, so it seems to be a natural extension of functional programming, so I need to check this out. So this is an observable update trigger.asObservable. So yeah, I don't know, I figured we'd mess around with this a little bit today, and just sort of try to get a handle on it, because I think it'll help us with the, oh, whoop, that's not right, with the dungeon crawler stuff at some point. Anyway, so it seems like, okay, let's just check this out and see if this actually does anything. And let me try to understand it. Alright, so in here, let's create a folder for code. And let's just see what we get. What are we going to call this? Just test component, I suppose. That should work. Yeah. So if I understand this, so it's an observable every update, so every frame where get mouse button down returns true, then we will do this, I think is what that does. And it should throttle every 200, so every quarter of a second, basically. So I assume this goes in awake. So we want private void awake. Is that how this works? And you just put all this in here. And I assume we need to import something, and it's probably like reactive extensions. Yeah. Hey, Dan, how's it going? I am looking into reactive programming because yesterday that kind of came up. So I need to figure that out a little bit and how that works in Unity. But yeah, how's it going? Are you excited about the jam? Oh, this is new to me also. Oh, okay. Yeah, reactive programming, from what I've seen of it, it's like, are you familiar with functional programming? UnitRx. I would guess we need like, keep you on my second monitor while working on my game for the jam. Okay. Okay, yeah, hopefully I can teach you something, and hopefully I can teach me something. I don't know, I'm a bit stubborn, so it's hard for me to learn, but I'm gonna try. But yeah. I'm trying to find the imports that it wants. So it wants .triggers, but it doesn't tell me where I can actually get this from. Where can I get time span from? That's what I'm not sure. An old dog, so new tricks are far between. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've been writing, like, it just got to the point where I've been writing code for almost 10 years, so I'm like, maybe I should learn something new. So it's clearly not triggers. It's not there. Where would it be? It would be in toolkit? No? Okay. UniRx time span using or package? No, just time span. Not timestamp. Why is it not telling me? So time span up from milliseconds. C# time span from milliseconds. This must be a system thing. Sure, can you tell me where to find it though? Using system? It's literally just in system. Hey W, how's it going? Yeah, we're messing with some reactive stuff. What I meant is that it's getting exponentially harder to learn this new fancy stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm starting to experience some of that too. I mean, I'm only like in my mid-20s and it's getting hard. I feel bad. Because I remember like how easy it was to learn new stuff in high school. But yeah, I'm just messing with some of this functional programming. So what I understand from what I believe this is saying is that it creates an observable that happens every Unity update frame, and then it's going to filter out only the frames where the get mouse button down is true. So yeah, those were the days. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they still are the days, sort of. Yeah, trying to do some stuff. So yeah, what I see from this is, so this is going to return a stream of frames where the mouse button down is where we have, or the left mouse button is held. And I guess this buffer is probably saying that this only happens once every quarter, or like a max of once every quarter of a second. So a max of 4 times per second. And then XS, what is this? This is a generic list of longs. X's, so I guess this is the number of clicks, right? And so if count greater than 2, okay. So it detects a double click as more than 1 click as in a second. Interesting. Okay, let's see if this actually does what I think it does. Yeah, trying to work with some reactive stuff because apparently it makes things easier. So let's find out. Okay, so yeah, clicking once a second doesn't do anything, but double click. Interesting. What if I just click as fast as I can? Oh, that's interesting. So consecutive double clicks, if I just keep clicking, it counts all of them. Interesting. Oh, that's weird. So if I click once, give it a second, and then I double click, it doesn't count it. Oh, that's really cool. Okay. So I would imagine that all I have to do, rather than filtering this, so I guess we can probably we can just remove the filter, and we can say debug.log, and we'll just say click, or clicked. So this should log every time we click something, and we can get rid of the buffer. So yeah, we can just subscribe to the stream of frames. I mean, I guess we could just do this like that. Like, there's no point in even storing this, right? Just as long as you have a subscribe. Oh, whoops, okay, right. So yeah, we just create an observable where we every update do something. Do we need to? I don't think we need to. I'm very curious about this. To get starting into this at the start of a 7-day jam. Yeah, that's true. It's useful for one of the things that I'm trying to do, and it's really more about asynchronous stuff. But I also, I do have a ton of time. So what I did is I actually left in like at the end of January. I kind of, yeah, it's pretty neat. If I can get it to work, like I've seen people do it, and I think if you can master it, you can write very condensed code. Yeah, I'm just trying to think through how this actually works. Yeah, it seems really neat where you can just create a stream of basically a stream of frames where you click. You don't even have to store anything. It just exists. That's very interesting. But yeah, I have a ton of time because at the end of January, I actually left my day job so that I could, you know, take some time and try to actually build a Twitch following. So if I need to spend like, you know, 8 hours a day on this, I just can. But I'm fortunate that I can do that. But yeah. Plus, I have a lot of stuff actually done for the jam, so I'm not too worried about it. And yeah, it just came up for one of the. Someone mentioned async stuff, like async await, and yeah, silver lining. Yeah, someone mentioned like async await stuff, and whenever I imported the async await package, it actually had the reactive extensions, and so I was wondering how that actually worked. But anyway. Let's see what we can do with this. So, what I'm looking for is how like the input might work. So do we have input on this page? Yes, input. Is that the only reference? No, okay. So in this one, this.mouse down as observable. On mouse down as observable. Select many. Huh. This can also be handled more easily by subscribing to events, observable event trigger. So with triggers, you can convert a mono behavior to an observable. I'm not sure what these two do. Let's see what this actually does. Oh, this legacy interface no longer supported. Okay. So let's see what we get here. If we import, whoops, using this .triggers. So what I think this does, whoops, I just copied that. That's not what I meant to copy. That's what I meant to copy. All right. So I mean, what I think this does, I mean, this looks like it's just logging the mouse position, but I don't know what the select many and take until are doing. As up observable. Oh, okay. So, oh, okay. Is this, if I hold the mouse button down, and then it's going to log stuff until I release it? Is that what it's doing? That might be true. Let's see. No, it doesn't do anything. Interesting. Okay. Does it say where this needs to go? It needs to go in start. Oh, it's drag and drop. Okay. So if we run start, let's see what we get. So this is drag and drop. No, it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Yeah, nothing seems to be happening. Okay, more easily subscribing, returned extension methods. All events subscribed by as observable. So it should be debugging and logging this, but it's not. Huh. Oh, good. Steam. Yeah. Mouse button down as observable. So it's called when the mouse is pressed. Oh, over a GUI element or collider. Okay, I see. So you need this to have an actual element with a collider. All right, that makes sense. So I think if we create a 3D cube, it's probably fine. And then we just remove this. And then I imagine this actually has to go on the cube itself. So we can test that. So since this cube has a collider, then something should happen, but it's not. That's very odd. I can't imagine the access modifier matters. Yeah, called with the mouse button over a GUI element or collider. Select many, take until, and then we select that, and we subscribe. X to debug.log. Oh wait, did I remove the collider? I removed the collider. I didn't mean to do that. That's the problem. Yeah. I just do that automatically with the box collider. I just automatically remove it. Just because because usually I don't want it to collide with anything. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, there we go. That's what it's supposed to do. Wait a minute. That only worked once. Interesting, okay. So now if I clear this, that only works once. Also, there's a second observable trigger on that. Oh, mouse update, interesting. Why does that only work once? On mouse down as observable. If I change this back to private, that shouldn't change anything, right? We also only have one copy of this, right? Yeah, okay, we only have one copy of this. Okay, if I don't clear the log, nothing happens, okay. So it's strange that this doesn't get reset. Why does that not get reset? And also, how would you reset it? Interesting. Alright, so if I remove this, let's try something else. If I remove this from the cube and put it on, let's say, the camera, my guess is that nothing will happen. Let's see. Yeah, okay, nothing happens. That's what I would expect. See, I'm very confused as to why this doesn't do anything. Or why it only works once. Losing my voice. So I guess the take until is what does it. And so I guess this will close it when it's done. On mouse down as observable. So if we sure, if we do that, then what? Okay, so this never stops doing anything. Interesting. That's very strange. It'll directly and automatically. Does it say anything about that? So this observable only once. At master, subscribe does not complete. Subscribe only once, but do not complete. Yeah, it's not clear why that's not resetting. That's very strange. Do I need to click off of it once? Is that what I need to do to reset it? So I do this, yep. Yeah, so clicking on it anymore doesn't do anything. Oh, that's so weird. So can we reset this thing in any way? Yeah. Our stream is equal to that, Get the stream. So can we do stream.reset or no? Every value change, no. Yeah, that's weird. Curious if that's a bug or if that's expected behavior. Is component not equal to null and observable dot empty observable mouse trigger, right? This is doing a select many. So we can say, so materialize, that's interesting. A and B. This is crazy what kind of stuff this can do. Like, I'm just very, that's amazing. All right, let's say do on completed. So if we do this, if we just give it a completed, because I'm thinking that whenever it gets completed, maybe that's when it doesn't do anything anymore. But it doesn't like this because why? Using a system.action. Why do you not consider that an action? Oh, right, because you don't take an argument. That's right. So yeah, what I'm guessing is that when that's completed, it will no longer do anything. Let's see. No. Interesting. So it's not considered completed there. We don't get complete anywhere in here. Okay. Interesting. It's not counted as completed. Do on, not on cancel, not on subscribe, not on terminate. Maybe we can duplicate all these. Do on cancel, on error, on terminate, and on subscribe. Let's see, do on terminate and do on subscribe. Oh, because you take an error, right? Yeah, you take an error. Let's see here, cancel, let's see if we get any of these. I expect at least the subscribe will start, but maybe not. Let's see what we get. So yes, the subscribe does fire like I thought. Interesting, so it's considered a cancel. Huh. Would have thought. So why is that considered a cancel? Take until, so I guess until cancels, until causes it to cancel. Is that what it does? Other or source, because it's definitely not an argument. Take until source, argument source. New take until observable. Source is required. Other, but it doesn't actually show me what happens. Okay. So actually take until this subscriber.run. So what happens here? Creates a disposable parent, subscribe to each other. Okay, that's not helping. Interesting. So whenever it cancels, it's just weird to me that it does it only once. Like, I wouldn't know how you make it actually repeat. So observable that dot add to disposables automatically. Control frame subscribe debug.log. Alright. Dangerous drag and drop. Select any. .repeat. Repeat can cause infinite. Repeat cause infinite repeat subscribe. Game object was destroyed. Oh, okay. I see. So you have to repeat until destroyed. I see. That would go here. Yeah, alright. Just had to read a little bit further down the page, I guess. That is interesting to know that it only happens once by default. So yeah, and that would cancel it, and then, okay, there we go. Wait, we only get one now. Oh, there we go. Now we get multiple. Oh, okay, because we're not clicking. I see. Alright. That's very interesting. So if I wanted to do anything with that, would that be... So for the click stream, how did that work? Because I should be able to get input from this. Where is input? Input.mouse position, input.that. Input. So would it be every update where... every update where input dot... okay. I think I know what I want to try to do. Are we also in here? Yeah, okay. So we would say something like, alright, let me keep a copy of this around so that I basically know the structure. But it would be something of like, every, hang on, how do they do it at the beginning of this? This is observable.everyUpdate. So observable dot, let's say every update where I don't think we, oh, this would be the time, right? It passes in the time? Probably. Every update is called, okay. So we're not going to worry about whatever the maybe it's the frame number. It's probably the frame number, actually. But every update where we say input dot get key down, or we'll say get access. Wait, no, we wouldn't do it that way, would we? Interesting. I'm trying to think, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to think of like asteroid stuff we were doing. Say like get key. So we could do get key down. Not get key down, get key. And let's say it's what would it be? Well, actually no, there's no. It really wouldn't be where. It would be subscribe to every frame. So basically every update, let's say we have a protected rigid body. This will be a rigid body. Then we'll say serialize field. Yes, we use the naming convention. Say that, can we select? Yeah, okay, so what we can do is we can select the frame. Some kids are screaming outside. It's always fun. Alright, we can select the frame, we can get a, we don't even need a tuple. What we just need is we just need to return some velocity. And that would be input.getAxis, and that would be horizontal. No, sorry, vertical. No, really, that would just be get key. The input dot get key down. Well, no. Yeah, can't make up my mind how I want to do this. Alright, what we'll do is we'll say get axis, and then we will clamp it to, not clamp it, but we'll use max of 0 and the input. And then we will say get horizontal as the axis, or no, vertical. Vertical, that's the right one. So basically just get if the player is pressing the forward key. Then we'll say rigidbody dot add force. And then we'll add that to, say, the input. That was interesting. I'm not sure why I was getting that highlighting there. Okay, never mind. Those two look like they were two different. It looked like that was like the unnecessary kind of highlighting color, but I guess it's not. So we don't want to. We do want to add force. This will be at the input. All right. So this will be mapping to that vector. This will be vector 3, or no, vector 2 dot up times that. No, actually, it's transform dot up. And we just add that to the input. Is that what we want? I think that's what we want, right? And is there a way? I'm wondering if there's a way that I can observe the rigid body velocity. Because if I could, then I could limit the velocity that way. Or I mean, I could just limit it here, but let's look at that. Rigid body 2D dot as, or what is it? Observable at, let's say as, let's say fixed update as observable. Oh, interesting. Okay. So on the rigid body's fixed update, then what we can say is we can say subscribe to that, and then we can say every we can say have the rigid body itself. We can say the velocity is equal to mathf.max, and then what we'll say is some cap on the speed. So say we have a serialized field. We'll say protected float max speed. And let's say that's equal to, I don't know, 1. What we can do is we can say it's the max between the max speed and rigid body 2d.velocity.magnitude. And then we can say that that's equal to rigid body.velocity magnitude, or no, not magnitude, normalized times that. And so yeah, multiply by that, and we subscribe to that. And so that should cap the velocity of the rigid body itself. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Just want to remove the 2D from the rigid body. Okay. So every fixed update we cap the velocity, every update we add force to it. And really we want that to be like every fixed update, not every update. Well, no, every fixed update. There we go. So that will just let us move forward and backward again, or just forward actually. And sure, let's do one more thing. Let's debug the velocity. Just to sort of prove that it's not going too high. Whoops. Can I have multiple subscribers? No. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, what? Are we sure about that? That will give you an iObservable. That should give me that subscribable. Huh. That's interesting. Why is that not? Oh, that's very interesting. I guess I would need to do. guess I would need to subscribe to that, right? As fixed update. And then we would say fixed updates.subscribe. And we could say fixed update.subscribe, so we could have multiple subscribers that way. Well, that's interesting. And sure, let's log the velocity. And this will just be to prove that we can limit it this way. But yeah, I think I understand this. That's really interesting. And so we can say rigid body dot velocity dot magnitude. All right, something like this. So what this should do, this basically will be every fixed update. What we do is we select the vertical velocity here. The percentage guy, you should do fixed update dot subscribe. Subscribe to the percentage guy on YouTube. Yeah, how's it going, percentage guy? We're trying to mess with reactive programming, which is something I've never done, so that's always fun. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Where is the ship? Ship player. It's good. All right. Are you working on anything or no? Zaisha, what's the advantage of using UniRX? It's just using the event functions. Hey Zaisha, so I'm trying to figure out, so the async await stuff you mentioned yesterday, it implicitly used UniRX, and so I'm trying to figure out the actual reactive, I'm trying to mess with reactive programming. Less readability. Yeah, Dan's right for the moment now. He's right, yeah. It's just, I'm wondering how much of my code can be put into Lambda functions. I don't know if I told you, Zaisha, but I actually, I wrote a FizzBuzz program in Java, and I did it without using, let's see, any if statements, any arithmetic, and any semicolons. So I am a little bit of a masochist, but right now I'm trying to figure out how to do the reactive programming stuff. I just want to see if it works the way that I think that it does. I think it does. But yeah, it also could just be that I'm a masochist. It's too much fun. Okay, so getting the velocity being logged, and it should never go past, well, okay, it is. Well, that shouldn't happen. That's always fun. So we're not slowing down. That's always fun. Okay, well, that doesn't do what I thought it would do. So here's the question, why doesn't that do what I thought it would do? Because I'm using Max, and I realized this as I was writing it. But yeah, let's check Discord. Oh god, you have a new version of that. I'm not gonna fall for the same trick twice. So I'm just using the graphics. I'm just using the graphics, but yeah. Okay, so now this limits it. Yeah, okay, there we go. Very slowly. Alright. So now I understand that. Huh, okay. So now that I know that, well, actually, to prove that it's working, I would need to... No, trust me, it's the actual version. I'll look at it a little bit, in a little bit. I still want to do this reactive stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely look at it at some point. I'll look at it at the end of the stream, that's what I'll do. Maybe in like, should profile to see if this has some performance benefits. That's a good point. Yeah, I definitely should. My guess is that it's probably a huge performance detriment, but let's find out. So I think we can go to stats. No, wait, is there a better version of stats? There's an actual profiler, right? Oh god, where is it? Or if it's just compressed code. Yeah, I think I'm 99% sure it's just compressed code. But yeah, you make a good point. We should actually check this. Profiler, there we go. Okay. So we have rendering, all the other stuff, memory, total usage. This is always fun. So we probably want others? No. UI. So we probably don't want UI. We don't need physics. We only need scripts, right? That's all we need. I'm not sure how I would be able to tell if it's any better. So we don't really need rendering. Memory usage, like I don't know, because this is, problem is this game is so simple. Alright, so what if we have, I don't know, 100 copies of this? So let's think about this. We'll just have a duplicate component. So just duplicate whatever it's attached to some number of times. Let's say public int n, and we'll set the default to, I don't know, 100. So private void awake. We would just say instantiate. Well, we'll use link for this though. Enumerable dot range 0 to n for each. Damn it. I don't understand why enumerables don't return lists automatically, or why you can't do a for each on a stream, but anyway. Instantiate game object at transform position, and then we set active true, quaternion identity dot set active true. Or actually, no, we don't even need to do that. So it'll just duplicate itself 100 times. Actually, that's not going to work. Yeah, that won't work. That will crash. Right. So no, wait, actually. So if I instantiate something during start, does start automatically get called on it or no? I don't remember. I know that it'll get awake, but I don't know that it'll get start. I know how to fix it though. So have public void duplicate. So what I'll do is I'll just invoke duplicate after a second. There we go. Now the copy shouldn't. Yeah, I figured. I saw that and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not gonna work. That's gonna just duplicate itself. It's gonna infinitely duplicate itself, at least in awake. I think this is fine because I think that start won't. I think that start will only get called. I think that you always get awake, but I don't think you always get start. I think start only gets called once, like ever. I don't know. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out if I'm doing this right. I think I am though. If not, the stream will go down. So let's find out. Yeah, I did that right, I think. Oh, nope. Nope, Unity froze. Well. Okay. Well then. So Unity is actually frozen. Strangely, it looks like the stream is, there we go. Although Unity is still trying to clean up everything. Oh god, I did it again. Alright, okay. Well, I thought that it only got called once. Okay. That's fair. So, Alright, I guess this won't work. I thought for sure that would work. I mean, I guess you can do, interesting. You can do that, but and we don't need this. Wow, I thought that start only got called once. Start and await get called once for each object. Oh, okay. So start is always called, that's very strange. I thought start was only called when the game was started. Okay. Or each component. Yeah, that's probably a better way to say it. Okay. I mean, this will work though. Say 99. So I just create this, and then that'll just be an empty. That's weird though. All right. This should work. So this will create 100 copies of that, right? Duplicate component. Wait, what? Signed reference. Why did that not work? Oh, right. I have it here. Also, when an object. Okay. Yeah, I thought that for whatever reason, it was only called, or start was only called at the beginning of the game. All right, but this should give us a more. We should be able to get some stats out of this actually. So okay. Where can I put this profiler? Also, where is this profiler? It's here, okay. So I can put this probably next to the game itself. And so it looks like rendering is taking 4 milliseconds. All right. So let's not log our velocity because I think that that's causing some issues. Let's see. Oh no, let's duplicate this, I guess 9,000 or to 1,000. See if we can cause some actual lag. Yeah, I don't know how to read this actually. Because it looks like the rendering's, it looks like it's only taking 1 millisecond. Or is it hidden in others? Actually, I don't know how you'd figure this out. Because I think that this is not running in a script actually, because this is being created as an observable. Yeah, I actually don't know. That's weird. Yeah, it looks like it only takes 1 millisecond, even for 999 of them. I mean, I guess let's see if we get any difference in physics version of this. So if we just grab all of this, put it in here. So instead of using the observable, we say on, not update, but on fixed update? Yeah, fixed update. So we'll say that we need to compute this. How's that? And then we want to set rigid body.addForce to be that. And then we need to say every fixed update we do this. It might actually end up being more efficient in a weird way. Okay, so let's try that. And so this will be the UniRx duplicate. rx duplicate, and this is the rx ship. Check DC. Give me a second. So this is the physics ship, and then we will remove the test, and then we'll put the physics test. Oops. It's really not physics test, but oh, I need to put that. All right. It's not really the physics test, but it's close enough. I mean, this is, you know, all the naming in this project is completely off, but whatever. It's fine. And then I'll duplicate this. This will be the physics. Duplicate. So we'll duplicate you. And then I just want to take these off and let's see what happens. And then I'll check Discord. So it looks like it spikes. Looks like it spikes pretty constantly. Well, okay. Looks okay. Let's see if alt print screen actually does that. Okay. Oh, we can check out the main thread. Okay. Physics test fixed update takes 1.1 milliseconds. So let's see. Does this change anything? If there's a better way to actually profile this, someone let me know, but this is the way that I don't know if there's anything else to look at. Okay, so it looks like this spikes above 1 millisecond ever so slightly more, but because it's not in a script, I don't think, I mean, it looks like the inefficiency is just ever so slightly, like ever so slightly lower. All right, let me look at Discord. Custom language concept, global, retable name, blah, 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 stop. Okay. It's basically non-returnable, okay. If condition, if ins, ins, what is ins? Is that like eval? What are you actually doing in the physics update? What I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out if there's any like appreciable inefficiency to doing this. I mean, really what it's doing is it's checking this input.getAxis. Yeah, basically these do effectively the same thing. They compute just the velocity. They compute a vector here. If ends is if else, ends is else. Okay. Okay. Okay, so yeah, if else. Okay, but yeah, that's one way to do it. Comment, block comment. Okay. You might, with the block comment, you might run into certain issues. But yeah, you might run into certain issues, but maybe not. Set global string, yes, empty. Okay. Percent toString, interesting. So why the percent toString? But yeah, what it does, Seisha, is it computes just some velocity stuff in the fixed update. And I wanted to see if there was any overhead to, or any noticeable overhead to running these. But it doesn't seem like it. Like even, I mean, we can add another 9, like 10,000 instances, but it doesn't seem to really be doing that much. Okay, here we go. Now it's starting to chug. Okay, at 10,000 instances, it really does start to chug. Oh my god, that's funny. Indicates built-in protective function, basically you can't define. Ah, okay. Wow, that really chugs. That's interesting. So from 1,000 instances to 10,000 instances, it really starts to chug. Well, let's see if Unity has the same, Unity's update function has the same issue. Let me capture this actually. Let's see if there's any major difference. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with how to profile a lot of this stuff. I just want to grab that. Let's clear this. It seems like interesting. Like it's not giving me an average frame update, so I don't know. It is really chugging though. So is it this player loop? Is that what it's doing? Huh. Total is at 176, basically 176 milliseconds is what that was at per render loop. So does this give me anything? Do I get anything down here whenever I close this? I'm actually very curious now. So yeah, it goes straight up, starts having the issues. Tell me if that's affecting the stream. It doesn't look like it is from my end, but I might be wrong. So let's see. Okay. Huh. Well then. That's very interesting. I mean, according to Unity, oh wait, actually, I don't think there's any difference. Because this was at 100 and this was at 479 was the player loop. 479 was the entire loop length. And so I think with the physics step, or physics version, I don't think there's any difference. Let's see, but it looked like it was 476 and 479. Oh, okay, yeah, so it looks like there is what, so that's 25 over 4, so let's say 25 over 440, or whoops, 450. So it looks like maybe 5%, looks like there's like a 5% overhead maybe? But that's not nearly as bad as I would have thought that it is. Like, that's pretty good. I mean, that's even across like 10, it takes like 10,000 instances before you actually notice the difference. So that's interesting. Maybe we can do tests at, let's say, 99 instances, but I don't think that's going to change anything. So let's see here, at 99 instances what we get. Let's say we start moving, blah, 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 and then we unplay. So the loop is at 0.4451 milliseconds, 3 instances. All right, so if you want something to be read-only, you put a % in front of it. If you want local string, something like that, then it's set to a string and you can only change it by, okay. That's interesting. So you basically have a, rather than have a keyword for read-only stuff, you have a symbol for it in the language. That's interesting. That might, might be more clear in many cases. So you say 0.451. So that's 0.451. Okay. Well, let's check the difference here, if the render loop is anything different. Oh, did I not clear it? I thought I cleared it. Whoops. Okay, let's see what we get. So it does look, yeah, it looks like they're comparable. So yeah, it looks about to be that 5% inefficiency. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Dan. It's like there's like a 5% overhead for the UniRX stuff, which I'm not actually too far against. That's not actually that terrible, all things considered. We can get rid of this. Yeah, I would have actually thought that it'd be much more than that. But I mean, if you look into it, it basically is just condensed code. Like if you just look into this, like, you know, just a bunch of calls on calls on calls. But still, there are probably some cases where it makes a lot more sense. I'm trying to think. I mean, it just depends on how you do it, I guess. For super simple code like this, it may not make any sense, but I think for drag and drop, it might make a lot more sense. Because like this really communicates what you want. You know, you want to basically select frames. You want to select frames from the time the mouse goes down to the time the mouse is up. And then you want to take the mouse position and just move. You might want to move something to that mouse position. And so this would keep you from having to say, you know, create some kind of state for like, you know, is dragging, and then, you know, you have a method for the mouse is down, you set is dragging to true, all that stuff. This is just a more concise way to write it, whereas this is not a less concise way to write it, or write this code, because this is the functional equivalent. But yeah, that's what it's for. I think it helps for more complex behaviors. That's what I'm getting from it. Yeah. Huh. Very interesting. I gotta think about it. Okay. Check something. Okay, that's all good. That's all good. All right. Yeah, the one thing I will say, percentage guy, about custom languages is just have a good Lambda syntax. I have a challenge for you: recreate People Playground, but better. I seem to remember People Playground. Wasn't that like the weird, like, stupid physics one? Yeah, this stupid physics game. I seem to remember this. I actually don't know how to do the ragdoll stuff in Unity. Actually, there's a lot of stuff in this that I wouldn't know how to do. Might be fun to try to recreate this one day for like a game jam or something. Yeah. Yeah, I would say for percentage guy, just for like a custom language, just make sure you have a good Lambda syntax, because Lambdas, especially in Lua, are just a pain. Just so ugly. It's one of the main reasons that I don't use Lua in Unity, because like I could, but I just don't. Oh yeah, also, I don't know if you know that, percentage guy, but you can use Unity or Lua in Unity. There are, I forgot what it's called. There's a way to do it with like C# and Lua, because they have like a similar runtime. Like they integrate very well with each other. Yeah, okay, given that I understand this, is there any... So we can select this. Could do a multi-select. Could aggregate stuff. What do these other functions do? So materialize, I don't know what any of that means. Didn't you show me some library that does compiling for me? Ah, so there's a tool, it's called Antler. So what this will do, this actually does a lot more than compiling. Well, it does, it's mainly used for building what are called transpilers. So it'll take one language. What people usually use it for is they use it to take one language and turn it into another. So you can use it, I'm familiar with doing it in Java, and what it'll do is it'll take some grammar that you give it, and then it'll turn it into, it'll build a compiler for you, and then it'll let you step through each of the nodes to actually run the code how you want to. But yeah, it's very useful for building stuff like transpilers. I'm trying to find good documentation. So as a way of, let's say, grammar structure. So you basically define some number of rules, and I'm trying to figure out where the actual code is for it. So you define some rules, and they get defined in some syntax. And then you actually, what you do, can you throw me a link? Yeah. So this is Antler, just antler.org. But yeah, after you do that, what you do is you create some kind of listener. And so you can just add, I'm trying to think. So whenever, what is it, class declaration context. So yeah, basically whenever someone starts a class declaration, it'll call this method. And so then you tell it, you know, kind of what you want it to do, and then you have like enter method declaration, stuff like that. But I don't know if it's possible to use it in other languages. So I think there's runtime. Looks like you can get a C# version and a Python 2 and 3 version and a JavaScript version. It doesn't look like there's a Lua version, unfortunately. But you could build your own syntax for it. I'm trying to think, how would you integrate that with Lua? I don't know how you'd integrate that with Lua. That'd be interesting. But yeah. You might be able to download it as a DLL and then run the DLL from Lua itself. That might work. Well, no, I don't know how you'd do that. It'd be weird. All right, I'll see you, percentage guy. Let's see what the documentation for this actually looks like. Or is there documentation? There's a wiki. Ooh, here we go. Oh, that's so cool. How well documented is this? Oh my god. That's really well. Well, actually, no, this doesn't tell me anything about, well, okay. Expectable reactive property. It's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, the main thing that I've seen with reactive programming is that it's like, it's useful when you want to do something when something else changes. Like, you know, when something changes, I want to do something. And so rather than having to have some kind of update loop where you check if something changed, you kind of just create a stream and then you say, okay, you know, whenever I change this, you know, register a change to the stream instead. And then, you know, later on in the code, you can say, okay, when something changes, I want to do something else. Yeah, okay. Does that tell what materialize does? Can I find out what materialize actually does? Or does it not tell me? Let's not be here. Interesting. Just the Rx. diagnostics. So materialize must not be from here. It must be from somewhere else. There's compiler services, minimum queue, usable promise, async triggers. Very interesting. All right. So it looks like we do a lot of cool stuff with this. All right, so let's see if we can. Let's see if we can. Gotta think about this. All right. Can I do transform dot on before transform parent on trigger stay dot position dot on? Is there really no way to get the positions as a stream? Because that would be something that I would want, right? Late update before became visible. Like, you can know when it becomes visible or invisible, but you can't know when the position changes. This seems very odd. Like, on rect dimensions change, on transform parent changed. So you can have everything else, but not as the position changes. Only as the positions change. Oh my god. Set position and rotation. Where does this come from? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know you could do both. So let's say observable dot from vector, no. Dot of, no. I mean, so what you could do is you could say observable, I mean, you could do transform dot, what is it, observable every value changed. Publish target property when the value is changed. Publish target property. At every value changed, transform position? Or is it vector 3? Transform position as that. Every variable changed. Every value changed. With a T property. Huh. So a function, so this takes a source, which is a transform, and then a vector 3, and then transform to dot position. Is that what we need to do? Then we say subscribe, and then this gives us the new position. Then we say position or debug.log, new position. Is that how that works? That's crazy. That works how I think it does. That's crazy. But I think that's how that works, right? We won't need to duplicate things anymore. So we only got one version of that. Okay, that's good. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Look at that. It only fires when that changes. Oh, that's so cool. So you can, when something, oh, that's cool. All right, so you could do input get axis horizontal dot observe. Yeah, I know, that's crazy, isn't it? You can basically just say, it's actually quite useful, yeah. Basically, it's like you can decide when you want. Yeah, that's really cool. As the, yeah, okay. But yeah, I think it's things like this that reactive programming is sort of for. It's like you kind of define what event you're looking for, like what kind of change you're looking for, and then you have, sort of a stream that gets created that only outputs a value when that condition is met. So I had done something very similar to this with like input at one point, where there was like it was almost like a nested, not a nested tree, but kind of like a layered tree of input, where like if the player did one thing, they couldn't do other things that frame. And it ended up looking very much like this, but it was extremely inefficient. But this might actually be more efficient. So I gotta think about this. So input.getAxis. So let's say we get some axis, and then we say as, no, observable, no. Can we just do like observable every value changed? Observe. Say to observable, any enumerable. There's got to be a way to do this with input. Inspector display, no. There's got to be a way to do this with input, right? So the way they do it is with the click stream. Observable.every update where? But I mean, you want to do every update, skip while, take while. I mean, you could select every frame to input get axis, say horizontal, and then you could say dot observe every value changed. So every time the horizontal axis changes. Do we need, I don't know that we need that. Oh no, we do need to get a function. Is there no way to do like on change? No. I'm trying to think of how you would do this. Observe every value changed. I guess you need to actually give it the value. So is this an action or is this, oh, it's just a long, okay, so it's the update number. So such that input.getAxis, say horizontal. Dot subscribe with basically a similar thing to axis a value. And then this is the actual value. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Yeah, okay, so every update, this should only give me values when the horizontal axis changes, if I understood that. So give me 0, okay. Now it's not actually changing. Why is that? No, really, why is that? Do I need to repeat this? Repeat until destroyed? What does this take? Is it a game object or no, this? Maybe it only fires once because it gets canceled. But then the other one wouldn't get canceled. No, this doesn't work. Okay. Did I misspell horizontal? No. Does it work with vertical? So we do get value 0. No, it doesn't work with vertical. It doesn't work with the arrow keys. Okay. I'm curious why that doesn't work. Unless it's observing... No, that's still not right. That's interesting. Why? Let's say from async pattern from event. Interesting. Oh yeah, so you pass in the add handler and remove handler at the same time from microcoroutine. Oh, that's funny. Maybe get access isn't a property but a function. Okay, yeah, that's probably a good point. Oh yeah, publish target property when the value is changed. Okay, I see. Publish the target property. All right, that's a good point. So it's probably that input dot any key. Okay, it's probably input dot any key or something. That's probably what it is. I think you're right, Dan. That's weird to me. Why? But that's a property, but that wasn't, or was that a property? Is that just a variable? No, I think this is a property, right? Maybe it needs to be a property on the target. So can we do input dot observe? No, I guess we can't. I guess this would have to be a target or a property on... Yeah, I don't know. I don't fully understand it. I think it is something similar to what you're saying, though, is that it's only properties. Okay, so if it's only properties, right, then we could get this, and then we could say rigid body dot velocity dot on, or no, observable after value changed. So we could say that from rigid body to rigid body dot velocity. So every velocity change, we subscribe to velocity debug.log velocity. So now every time the velocity changes, this should do something. I think that's right. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, so that seems to be how it works, is that it only works on properties. But I mean, you could do other cool things too. Like you could say .where velocity dot greater than, or dot magnitude greater than 1. We'll say 0.5. And now it would only log the velocity after it gets above a magnitude of 1/2. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, you can use it to enforce limitations. I'm very curious as to what these other things do. There's also buffering too. So it looks like you can create some kind of buffer maybe in... I don't know exactly what buffer would be for. I don't know. I guess I don't know how it would be different from where. mean, it looks like it just takes a, well, actually, what does it take? So we can give it a count, we can give it a time span, we can give it a skip, we can give it a scheduler. So I guess you could make a custom scheduler? Maybe because, oh yeah, okay. Let's say again. Also, I'm very curious as to why this doesn't use default values. This is very interesting to me. Time span, time shift. Window boundaries. That's interesting. Yeah, it looks like you can make a custom scheduler for stuff. I'm very curious what this other stuff does. So aggregate, I think I get. Is required. No, that's not important. I'm not sure what A and B is, though. Maybe that's like and? Awaitable extension? I think what this is this is a misspelling of and, because is and a isn't that a, no, it's not a reserved word. Where does that come from? I'm actually very interested in that. It comes from iObservable, system iObservable. C# iObservable, AMB. What is this? Same problem, function signature, from cache or fetch. No. Tell us what all the methods are, that would be really helpful. That's subscribe. Can you give us a list of the actual methods? Is it in here? Just says subscribe. There's children playing outside. What is this? It doesn't actually tell me. I'm very curious about it, though. What is AMB? Sure, whatever. Oh my god, just compile. AMB observable? I don't know what this is. So it is a UniRX thing. So it looks like it's just like an aggregated one. But it doesn't tell me. Yeah, it's not telling me what that actually does. But it looks like it just combines the two. I don't know. So there is that. Yeah, I'm very curious what this other stuff does. As unit observable, very curious to know what that means. Batch frame, cast, catch, ignore. It's very similar to promises. Oh, wow, you can actually catch an exception? Oh, that's interesting. Huh. So if part of, it looks like if part of the pipeline throws an exception, you can actually just ignore it. That's crazy. You can have a delay. Delay subscription, oh wow. You can just do. Have twice to insert the snippet. Then for each async, that's cool. You can merge it. So that's how you would do two of them, okay. Multicast. Very interesting. So observe on. Oh, that's the scheduler. Okay, so you can add your own custom scheduler. You can even publish, so I guess you could create your own, probably. So if you wanted something that you couldn't, it's probably a way to, that means that you could have your own, for your own components, you could create observable things. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I can imagine some crazy stuff you could do with this. Subscribe with state? Oh wow. Okay. There's take. Can you even throttle stuff? You can turn it into an array. That's interesting. Into a list. To a yield instruction. So you could put this into a coroutine? Wow. That's insane. To sequential read-only reactive property. Interesting. So is this observable? Huh. Very interesting. I'm very curious how input would work with this. Yeah, I think this, I'm trying to think, I think that this would really help with stuff like input, because input's can be very, very tricky, especially if it's cut all, especially if it's done throughout the entirety of your, like if it's divided throughout your entire code base, you could simplify it into some kind of streams, make it really easy to work with. All right. So I'm going to take 5 minutes and I'll be right back. I just need to get some water and stretch a little bit, but I'll see you in just a minute. All right, I am back. So I think I understand what the use of this is, or I think I understand a little bit more about the use of this. Okay, so what we can do with this physics test, what we'll do is we'll just actually throw all of this into, like our test component. And so what I want to do is, we don't really need any of this, but I'm going to keep it around just so that my brain is familiar with how the style of this code actually works. But anyway, we're going to throw this into private void fixed update. And this is going to control our little asteroids kind of like ship. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this, but we're going to do the thing where if you go out of bounds, like you go off the screen one way, you just get teleported back. We're going to do that using the reactive stuff, because I think that's really what it's for. And I think that's how it would really help. So in this case, have the max speed, etc., all of that's fine. What we need to do is we need to actually be able to turn. So add force, all of that's fine. This will be the thrust. So let's say turning is equal to, let's say, input.getAxis horizontal. And then what we can do is we can say that the transform, we can actually add torque to the rigid body to do this. I don't know if we want to do that. I don't think we do. No, let's not. Let's say that the transform.rotation is equal to, or no, we'll multiply this by the turning. So we'll say quaternion dot Euler from 0, 0, 0, 0 to, let's say, I don't know, 90 degrees per second times the turning. Okay, so that should let us turn and move and all that stuff. Let's just test that really quick. Can get rid of the physics version of the ship. Yeah, if I can have the player kind of warp back into bounds using this sort of system, I will be convinced that I understand it. So let's see. So if we press A and D, okay, that's a bit quick. So, all right, because we need to say times time dot delta time. We'll say the turn rate is at 120 then, because that's full turn every 3 seconds, I think. So it might be a little bit slow. Oh, right, we need to do a minus on that. Rather than that, we'll have it be like, I don't know, 270 is probably fine. Then we have to invert the turning, I forgot, because that's the only thing that really makes sense, at least in my opinion. Like, I don't know, to me it doesn't, to me if you're pressing the A key, and I noticed this in Evil Genius 2, is that if you press, so in this case, if you press the Q key, your camera would turn like, it would turn this way, which is so weird to me. Like, I would expect that if I press Q, it would turn the camera that way. And it's just, I don't know, it's so weird how they designed it in Evil Genius 2. And it's been throwing me off all the time. But yeah, okay, so the turning works. We have our velocity, that works too. Okay, so we can add velocity going that way, great. And so if we go out of bounds, what we find is that we just go out of bounds, okay. So in start, what we need to do is we need to say transform dot observable, or observe, wait, how did we do it before? I thought it was observable from every value changed. So from the transform, we say transform.position, we observe every value, and then we need to get some kind of, say, protected vector2. These will be the bounds. And we'll just keep that as is. This will be serialized field. So what we need to say is, we need to say every observable where the position dot x, or sorry, the mathf dot absolute value of the position dot x is greater than the bounds dot x. So this will be positive or negative, or the absolute value of the position.y is greater than the bounds.y. So in either case, we want to say that we subscribe and we take the position, and then we say that the transform.position is equal to minus transform.position. The problem with this is that I think it'll teleport once, so I think what we need, or more than once, so I think what we need to do is we need to buffer this, and we need to give it, I don't know, probably need time span, that's in system, right? So we need to give it maybe, not time stamped, time span from milliseconds. So we buffer for, I don't know, a quarter of a second. That way, if you spend a quarter of a time, or a quarter of a second, or actually, I don't know what that'll do. Let's find out what that'll do. Curious if that'll do that once every quarter of a second, or if it'll wait a quarter of a second. Yeah, oh, right. We're being horribly thrown. Okay. That's because the bounds are at 0, 0. So the leftmost bound should be at about 9.2, and the the left bound should be 5.3, and the right bound should be 9.2. So 5.3 and 9.2. So this should allow us to be out of bounds for about a quarter of a second before we get teleported. But it doesn't. That's interesting. Why is that? Is it... Do we need to do that? Because I would think that every change, we do that. I would think that we'd need to do a buffer of some kind, but maybe I'm wrong. No, we still can't move. Oh, that's very strange. Why is that? We get rid of that. Let's do debug.log. Say transform is out of bounds. It's very odd to me why that doesn't do what I thought it would do. Interesting, okay. And it's still not telling us that it's out of bounds. Oh, there we go, now it is. Huh. Where did that end up before it ended up out of bounds? Did it really get to 5.3, or am I just hallucinating? Oh wait, because I have everything backwards, that's the problem. So yeah, the instant this ends up off the screen, we should get a thing that says the transform's out of bounds. Yeah, okay. Problem is that if we warp the transform back, problem is this will cause it to automatically be out of bounds in the other direction, which is not good. And so it should just end up warping back and forth. But I might be wrong about that. Maybe it'll do it right. Oh, okay, no, I'm wrong. It works. That's odd, but that works. Okay, because I thought we'd end up like instantly out of bounds and we'd be teleported back, like just in an infinite loop, but apparently not. Oh, that's so weird. Okay. Well then. That's gonna be hard to get out of. Okay, there we go. Yeah, alright. Apparently that's how that works with reactive programming. That's so cool. Alright. I'm very happy that that just works. Can we actually break it? No, we can break it. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. Is our ship's position's just rapidly changing. Okay. That's what I thought the issue would be, but maybe it's like, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so how do we fix that? So it's obviously not with buffer. Okay, maybe we can buffer at 2. So you have to be out of bounds for 2 consecutive frames before we do anything about it. I mean, because we'd still get the same sort of issue. No, okay, that causes issues. Wonder where our ship actually is. Oh, there we go. Now it's actually being warped. Interesting. So yeah, we are getting teleported. And I don't think at this rate, I don't think we can actually cause any bugs. Yeah, I think this will fix it because now we have to be out of bounds for a certain number of frames before we actually get teleported, and so that makes it so that we have like a buffer of sorts, of course. Curious why the ship is having issues like that. Whoops. Yeah, I think that actually works. I don't know why the fixed update's having issues here. We might need to limit the velocity ahead of time. That might do it. Something like that. We might need to change the impulse mode or something. Yeah, I think that's interesting. That is odd that it is warping back and forth at this point, which is weird. Yeah, it's having this issue where it teleports back and forth all the time. I don't know how you prevent that. I mean, I guess you could multiply the transform a little bit. And you could say it's equal to the position times 0.95 or something. The idea being minus 0.95. The idea being is that it would warp you, it would guarantee that you end up inside the bounds. And I thought you could multiply a vector. Oh, right. It's not defined because it's that. Yeah, okay. And so that way, if you decide, or if you design the bounds to be a bit larger, so we said, I don't know, 0.94 and 0.54, then that should be roughly enough to prevent that issue. And also, the transition should be smooth. So we shouldn't be able to do that because we get warped to the other side of the screen and also inside the bounds. So yeah, okay. I think this is how we prevent it. Yeah, I think that's kind of neat. I am very curious what other stuff you could do with this. I mean, one thing to note is that this code there's no reason that this piece of code has to live on this game object, which is kind of cool in a way. There are other issues with that, but it's kind of cool in a way. It does raise the question of how you destroy it. Like, whenever the game object itself gets deleted, how does this die? How does it die? What kills it? Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very cool that these two things can interact like this. Okay. I think that is a good place to stop, but I think I understand I'm gonna have to listen to some Venkat on reactive stuff because I want to see what he says it's good for. Yeah, I think that's what it's good for in Unity. Anyway, thank you guys for watching as I went through that. I hope it makes more sense to you as well. But anyway, I'll see you guys.